Hello friends and followers, Grand Rising. This week's video on movement is going to be about walking. It's the simplest exercise you can do, so I thought we'd start here. If you're new to moving your body and living a healthier lifestyle. I'm currently in Vanuatu on a morning walk around the island of Auri, and it's the first thing that I do in an ideal day. If it's something that you're not used to doing, then I suggest that you start your day the same way. There's a lot to be said for doing the hardest thing in your day first. It makes the rest of your day seemingly a lot easier. But why do you want to walk in the first place? Sounds like an odd question, doesn't it? But I know for a lot of people, walking for the sake of it isn't the top thing on their priority list. So, one, if you're out in nature, you get to experience all the benefits of that. The sights, the sounds, the smells, the communication. You never know who you're going to run into. Although today I don't think I'm gonna run into anyone, but the animals. If you're on the beach, you can go barefoot, or you can go barefoot just about anywhere if you're game enough, but I would recommend working up to that. All the longest lived cultures in the world, on average, walk around 10,000 steps a day. That's where that number comes from that you hear in the advertisements, or why the default goal on your Fitbit or Garmin is 10,000 steps. It's not just a random number picked out of the air. It was actually came from the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, I believe, and the blue zone in Japan, down south, the island of Okinawa, I should say. That was about the average that they found that those people walked. It's the highest population density of centenarians in Japan. So that's about 8 kilometers or 5 miles a day, which if you're just starting out might seem a lot, and especially if it's not already part of your routine, then it might seem difficult to try and find the time to fit it in. So hence why making it a priority in your mornings is going to be beneficial. But for the people in these blue zones, the walking is more a result of their environment. They don't have to fit it into busy modern lives, working potentially multiple jobs, running kids around, etc. The communities they live in are kind of designed that way, and it's just how they get around. A lot of them often don't own cars. A lot of them have bikes, but walking is their way of transportation. And they use it to go and see their friends, and they usually have a circuit that they do. every day. But the way most of us live in modern cultures, we don't have that requirement. Most of us don't even know our own neighbours, so you just need to get out there and interact with the people that you find along the way. And you'll find that there are actually quite a few people that do this. But if you haven't done it before, you just need to go out and experience that for yourself. So you don't have to start with 10,000 steps or 8 kilometers, because if you haven't ever done that before, all in one day, then it could be quite painful. So work up to it. Start with 10 minutes from your house, out and back, and then increase that a little bit. Walk around the block. Make sure you're wearing some shoes that allow you to do that comfortably. But I do recommend over time slowly reducing the support that you give your feet. And what I mean by that is allowing your feet to function as they're designed to. Because they do have support built in. They're the most intricate structure, physiologically, I believe, of the human body. The way the whole foot articulates and forms a strong foundation when it needs to, and it can also be extremely flexible. But when they're crammed in, most of these modern day shoe designs, they don't get to express that. So over time, as you get more comfortable and you build up strength in your legs, especially in the lower part, you can transition more towards a barefoot type shoe. And then you'll be able to feel more of the ground that you're walking on, and therefore become more connected in the whole experience. There's also a lot of studies that show that every time you double the amount of steps you do in a day, it decreases your risk of all-cause mortality. So 4,000 steps, I can't remember the exact numbers, but 4,000 steps is twice as much as 2,000. And then if you double that again, 8,000, you're going to reduce it by half again. So lots of benefits. If you are experiencing pain, then back off. Even though walking should be relatively accessible for everyone, as I've already said, a lot of you might be new to this, walking for the sake of it. So if you're just starting your movement and health journey, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give is to have an intuitive ear and listen to your body. Don't just push it for the sake of, I have to do this now, like this is what I'm doing. Don't force yourself. This is a long-term game. We don't all have to be David Goggins. There's a time and a place for that. But when you're just starting out and trying to build a habit, you want consistency, not inconsistent, intense efforts that set you back. So if you are feeling pain, there are exercises you can incorporate, which you can do instead of the walking until you build up the strength, release the tension and stretch out the area. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
And those exercises are something that I specialize in and can help you with. But for right now, just get out and try, see how far you can go. Find somewhere new in your neighborhood, and then you'll start looking further outside of your local area, and you'll discover that there are some pretty cool places to be explored. The last thing I'll touch on, as it's one of the most important things I think about health overall, is the impact that walking has on your lymphatic system. For those of you that are unaware, the lymphatic system is our main immune system. It's one of the two main systems of fluids in the body. We have blood, which is only about 20% of the fluid in our body, and our lymph is 80%. So it's the majority and the most important, because it's responsible for removing cellular wastes as a result of metabolism, so lactic acid, that kind of thing. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like blood does with our heart, so moving the body, especially first thing in the morning, even just gently like we're doing with walking, is going to get things moving again after sleeping all night. And then if you also want to quickly hydrate with some water, a little bit of lemon juice before you go, that's going to work even better. So that is just a couple of points I wanted to cover on walking. I'm sure I'll think of some more, but that'll be for a future video. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace be with you.